The BJP has released list of star campaigners for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections for the various states. Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah and BJP National President JP Nadda to lead the campaign. Madhya Pradesh Congress Chief Jitendra Patwari has said that the Congress will announce the final list of candidates who will contest the Lok Sabha elections from Madhya Pradesh today, adding that he is confident that Congress will sweep the polls in Madhya Pradesh. Expelled TMC MP Mahua Moitra and Darshan Hiranandani have been summoned by the ED in forex violation case. The ED wants to question Mahua Moitra in alleged cash for query scam over transactions linked to NRE accounts and foreign remittances as well, along with fund transfers. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde to hold joint press conference with his deputies Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar today. The Mahayuti alliance partners are set to announce a seat sharing arrangement and release the constituency-wise names of the candidates. Now, with the battle for 2024 drawing closer, the BJP has once again sprung a surprise with its Lok Sabha candidate, this time giving a ticket to the sitting independent MP Amravati Navneet Rana. The BJP has also announced candidates for Andhra Pradesh state polls and upcoming by-elections as well.
The BJP has released the 7th list of its Lok Sabha candidates, with the list only featuring 2 names, one from Maharashtra and one from Karnataka. The Saffron Party has fielded sitting MP from Amravati, Navneet Rana, from its ticket in Maharashtra. Navneet Rana had won as an independent in 2019 after support from NCP and the Congress to defeat Shiv Sena's candidate Anandrao Atsul in Amravati. However, the MP soon rose to popularity over her pro-Hindu stance on various issues since then, especially after the Hanuman Chalisa row with the then Uddhav Thackeray-led Maharashtra government in 2022.
एक कार्यकर्ता म्हणून मला जिथे जिथे आदेश देण्यात येईल तिथे तिथे जाऊन मी नक्की माझे पार्टीसाठी, भाजप पार्टीसाठी आणि माझे नेत्यांसाठी जेवढी मेहनत आणि डेडिकेशन करावी लागली तेवढी मी नक्की करन. आणि आज भाजपमध्ये प्रवेश घेऊन भाजपाची एक कार्यकर्ता आणि डेडिकेटेड कार्यकर्ता म्हणून आजच्या पुढे जेही कर्तव्य मी करन.
From Chitradurga in Karnataka, the BJP has decided to field former Deputy Chief Minister Govind Karjol, replacing A. Narayanaswamy of the BJP, who had won from Chitradurga last time around. Besides this, the BJP also released the list of 10 candidates for the upcoming Andhra Pradesh State Assembly elections. The BJP also named Haryana Chief Minister Nayaab Singh Saini for the upcoming by-elections in Karnal, as he replaces former Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar, who is all set to now contest Lok Sabha polls. With the announcement of the 7th list, the NDA only has 14 seats left of the total 542 Lok Sabha constituencies on which it is due to name a candidate. In contrast, the Indi Alliance has still not released the names of candidates in over 150 seats across India. This means that in the race of announcing the candidates, the NDA has gained a decisive lead against the Indi Alliance. Will this have a discernible impact on the prospects of Indi candidates remains to be seen. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And a look at election-related updates ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. With just days to go for the Lok Sabha polls, the second phase to file nominations for the general elections will begin starting today. The ECR will also issue Gazette notification at 4 p.m. Congress Central Election Committee has approved the names of 18 candidates in its latest meet. The next CEC meeting will be held on 31st of March. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav opts out of Delhi's of the Lok Sabha race and will not be contesting the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. This comes a day after Samajwadi Party's Rampur unit urged party president Akhilesh Yadav to contest the Lok Sabha elections from this constituency. Prime Minister Modi said to commence his Lok Sabha campaign for UP from Meerut on 31st of March. Sources say that MNS chief Raj Thakre is set to join the NDA fold today. It is being said that Thakre has asked for 3 seats from the BJP to contest the elections. Prakash Ambedkar-led VBA has exited the MVA alliance. They have also announced candidates for some Lok Sabha seats in Maharashtra. Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Raut shared a list of total of 17 candidates for the Lok Sabha elections. The list includes former union ministers Anant Geeta and Arvind Sawant for the Raigad and South Mumbai constituencies. In Karnataka, 5 Congress legislators, including 3 MLAs and 2 MLCs from Kolar seat, threatened to tender their resignations to the membership of the Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council, respectively. Election Commission of India has issued show cause notice to Congress leader for his sexist slur on Kangana Ranaut. Meanwhile, Rashtriya Soshit Samaj Party leader Swami Prasad Maurya said that the opposition is determined to root the BJP out of the centre in order to save the constitution and democracy. Heading into a very short break, coming up on the other side, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's 6-day ED custody ends today. Court to hear the matter. Delhi High Court to today hear a public interest litigation seeking to remove Arvind Kejriwal from the post of Chief Minister.
It's now time for the nation's sharpest opinion. From global headlines for incidents of stone pelting to hosting the world at the G20, from the weekly visuals of attacks at the Indian Armed Forces by Pakistanis to the first ever Formula 4 car racing event. Kashmir has changed. Ladies and gentlemen, from the grenade attack ripping through the Regal Cinema in Srinagar to getting its first multiplex in 2020, the face of Jammu and Kashmir has transformed under the Modi government after the abolition specially of Article 370 and 35A. For decades after decades, a regurgitated narrative was thrust, a lie told a billion times, projected and amplified by a globally funded, well-oiled machinery that the problem of Kashmir shall never be solved. We were told it was too complex a conflict for India to find a solution to. And yet, ladies and gentlemen, Narendra Modi has delivered the answers. 4.5 years after the revocation of 370, Kashmir has been more peaceful, more integrated than it has ever been through independent India's history. And that is a proud moment for every Indian. So, and this brings me to the news point today, when Amit Shah says today that the government is actually considering a rollback of AFSPA in Kashmir, I do not see this as a loose comment or a comment linked only to the upcoming election.
Now in Bihar, the Purnia Lok Sabha seat has become the focal point of recent political debates after tensions brewed between the RJD and the Congress over seat sharing. There is news that Lalu Yadav gave RJD ticket to daughter Bhima Bharti, upsetting Pappu Yadav, the five-time MP from the seat, who has responded to this move by saying that he will not leave the Purnia seat. Here's a detailed report on the widening rift between the RJD and the Congress.
Purnia, Lok Sabha seat of Bihar, has been the center of discussion for the last few days. There were a lot of tensions between RJD and Congress regarding this seat. But Lalu Yadav further intensified the political activity by giving the party symbol to Bhima Bharti. After RJD made Bhima Bharti its candidate, while Bhima Bharti has announced that she will file her nomination on April 2, Pappu Yadav, who had recently joined the Congress, said that he will not leave the seat.
पूर्णिया की जनता और खास तौर पर हर घर की माँ और बेटी पप्पू यादव को अपना भाई अपना बेटा बना चुका है, तो इसीलिए निर्णय कभी नहीं बदलता। और एक ही बार मैंने कह दिया है कि दुनिया छोड़ देंगे, पूर्णिया नहीं छोड़।
Pappu Yadav has a tremendous hold in Koshi and Shimanchal areas of Bihar. With him holding a record of winning polls from various constituencies, it's clear that he is well aware of Bihar's political landscape. However, in the year 2019, he had to face defeat from JDU candidate Santosh Kushwaha. At the same time, Bhima Bharti has won the Rupavali Assembly elections 5 times. Apart from this, she has also held ministry in Nitish's cabinet. Bhima was in RJD before JDU. The question is, how will this move shape Bihar's political stage ahead of the Lok Sabha polls? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And a look at top stories in brief. The AMMK General Secretary TTV Dinakaran has filed nomination from Theni Lok Sabha constituency in Tamil Nadu. Congress workers gathered outside party headquarters and protested over the candidature of Danish Ali from Amroha. The Lok Sabha elections. A suspended BSP MP joined the Congress recently. External Affairs Minister Dr. Thje stated that India and Malaysia have seen a boost in trade to about $20 billion annually ever since the two countries launched an enhanced strategic partnership 9 years ago. Karnataka Governor Thje Chand Gehlot has declined to accept the Karnataka Hindu Religious Institutions and Charitable Endowments Bill, stating that he's returned the file with inquiries. West Bengal Governor Dr. CV Anand Bose has acknowledged the Go Back slogans at Qazi Nazrul University's convocation, stating that the students had a reason to be agitated, however suggested that students might be motivated or misled, clarifying that their protests are not against him personally. Ukraine's foreign minister is set to mark his visit to India, which would be the first by a Ukrainian foreign minister in 7 years. The visit aims to bolster ties between Ukraine and India. After successfully tracing a Nepali girl who went missing from Mandarin Guest House, the North Goa SP stated that as soon as the complaint was filed, special teams have been formed to locate the girl. However, her whereabouts still remain unknown. Water crisis continue in Bengaluru that has led to conflicts between residents of Vijay Nagar layout and Maruti Nagar over access to drinking water. The ED has cracked down on Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's daughter, who is an alleged beneficiary of the money laundering case in Cochin Minerals Retail Limited scam. The matter was earlier being probed by the SFIO. Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev has left from Indraprasth Apollo Hospital in the national capital after being discharged. He underwent emergency brain surgery on 17th of March. He had been experiencing severe headaches for a few weeks before undergoing the surgery. Now in news from the state of Karnataka, where a massive political upheaval has unfolded in the state over Lok Sabha ticket allocation. It all started when Congress decided to field K.H. Maniyappa's son-in-law from Kolar. That has led to disgruntled 5 MLAs and 2 MLCs staging a rebellion and threatening to resign as a mark of protest.
With less than a month to go for the Lok Sabha elections, the Karnataka Congress state unit is under turmoil. In a huge blow to the party, 5 MLAs and 2 MLCs of the party threatened to resign over ticket fiasco. The development came after the party allocated a ticket from the Kolar constituency to K.H. Muniyappa's son-in-law, Chikka Pedanna. Reacting to the ticket distribution, the rebel leaders have slammed the Congress's Parivarvad politics.
My father has suffered. I don't know how many of you know my father. He's a 5-time MLA. He started his political journey in 1972. He suffered very badly. Then later on I came to politics. I was also troubled a lot. Time and again I appealed to High Command at that time. Somehow, because this gentleman was a member of parliament and central minister, our words were not respected. So I left the party. Twice they offered me. I don't have any issue with regards to the party high command.
We are demanding for right community candidate, because right community candidate not yet given ticket since independence. Right community is more in Kolar parliamentary constituency, almost 3,80,000. If right community accommodate, we can win the seat easily.
While the grand old party struggles to keep its flock together in the state, K.H. Muniyappa said that he is a disciplined soldier of the party who will respect the High Command's call.
No, I am a disciplined soldier of the party. If I am not correct, how the people is elected 7 times? Never in the history except Jafar Sharif and Shekharana. That too in the difficult time. People have voted for me.
Is this
it may be, the High Command will take a decision. We have pleaded, we have appealed to the High Command. Whatever they decide, accordingly we will go.
The Congress top brass continues to face flack for their apathy on their leaders' demands. High drama unfolded at the Karnataka Speaker U.T. Khade's office after the rebels demanded to hold discussions on their resignation. 2 MLCs have resigned already.
They called me. Sir, we are going to resign for the post of MLC. So kindly, where you are now, kindly be in the office. I said I am busy. I will come at 12:30. Up to 1 o'clock I am in the office. So come and give the resignation. Then they came. They are not written on the letterhead. They are only white paper. It is not correct. So I told him, you take your letterhead and write there, then you give me.
Kolar rebel MLAs are also expected to meet Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar to discuss their grievances. Meanwhile, in a bid to keep itself from dismantling, the party later announced that Chikka Pedanna's ticket from Kolar has been withheld. Ahead of the big 2024 battle, the Congress is desperately trying to replicate its win from the Karnataka Assembly elections, while the newly formed BJP-JDS alliance is trying to cut into it. Will the party survive its infighting? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
हिंदू धर्म में शक्ति शब्द होता है, हम शक्ति से लड़ रहे हैं, एक शक्ति से लड़ रहे हैं।
इंडिया अलायंस ने अपना घोषणा पत्र शक्ति को खत्म करने के लिए किया है। मैं इस चुनौती को स्वीकार करता हूं और मैं इन शक्ति स्वरूपा माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए जान की बाजी लगा दूंगा।
Top headlines, the soured Ukraine's foreign minister to begin his two-day visit to India later today. This even as Russia accuses Ukraine of terror attack in Moscow. Egypt pledges support for Palestinian rights during talks with Fatah representatives. Four Lebanese and an Israeli killed in an exchange of fire along Lebanon-Israel border. Israeli airstrikes on Rafah leaves 4 Palestinians dead, escalates destruction in Gaza. Thailand poised to legalize same-sex marriage after Parliament passes bill. Now, Ukraine Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba is set to visit India for the first time. Note that Kuleba took office in 2020 and this is going to be his first visit to the country since the start of the Ukraine war in 2022. And on top of the agenda is going to be lobbying for support from India amid the raging conflict with Russia.
Days after Prime Minister Modi dialed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba is all set to make his first visit to India. This is the first time the Ukrainian Foreign Minister will visit India since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Standing here in Kiev, in front of Mahatma Gandhi's monument, I'm pleased to announce that this week I will pay my first ever visit to India. A few days ago, President Zelensky spoke with Prime Minister Modi. My visit will further strengthen our relations. Ukraine and India are two big democracies. I'm certain we are set to be good partners and friends.
The visit of the Ukrainian Foreign Minister comes after President Zelensky extended an invitation to Prime Minister Modi to visit to Ukraine later this year. The Ukrainian Foreign Minister is expected to hold high-level dialogues with External Affairs Minister Dr. Thje. On the top of Ukraine's agenda is going to be lobbying for India's support for the upcoming peace summit scheduled to be held later this summer in Switzerland. The peace summit is expected to build on the 10-point peace formula of President Zelensky that seeks complete withdrawal of Russian troops, release of prisoners of war, and a formal confirmation of the end of the war, among other things. India has so far not announced its participation in the summit, as the dates are expected to coincide with Lok Sabha elections. Dozens of meetings have been held so far on the peace formula proposed by President Zelensky. However, no solution acceptable to both parties has come out of these dialogues so far. India has maintained its neutral position that dialogue and diplomacy are the only way forward in this crisis, reiterating Prime Minister Modi's remarks to Russian President Putin, "This is not an era of war." Will Ukrainian Foreign Minister's trip create a breakthrough in Ukraine-India relations that can aid the peace effort in Russia-Ukraine war? And will India participate in the peace summit remains to be seen. Bureau Report, Republic TV. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Now, amid the raging Israel-Hamas war, the Vice President of Palestinian Fatah movement said that the next 48 hours will show if Israel will observe the United Nations Security Council resolution that calls for a Gaza ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu blasted the resolution. Here are the highlights.
The Vice President of the Palestinian Fatah movement said on Wednesday that the next 48 hours will show if Israel will observe the United Nations Security Council resolution calling for a Gaza ceasefire.
نختبر الأمر خلال ال 48 ساعة القادمة مدى إلزامية هذا القرار والتزام هذا الاحتلال به أم لا، ومن المتوقع بصراحة أنه هذا الاحتلال لن ينتهي.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has blasted the resolution. He said that this has emboldened Hamas and vowed to press ahead with the war. Officials said that if the killing in Gaza continues, it would be an extraordinary injustice, warning that this scenario would create the conditions for a repeat of the October 7th attack.
أشرنا للجميع أن هناك الحل لا يوجد سوى أحد حلين، إما أن يستمر القتل والقصف وغيرها، وهذا الظلم غير العادي، وهذا سيؤدي أن ما حصل في 10 أكتوبر في 7 أكتوبر أن يتكرر بعد عام عامين 5. والحل الأفضل هو الذهاب باتجاه أمل للفلسطينيين، باتجاه أفق سياسي. الأفق السياسي هو في
It was on October. A village of Hebariye came a day after airstrikes and rocket attacks between Israel's military and Lebanon's Hezbollah group along the Lebanon-Israel border raised concerns of further escalation along the frontier that's been active for the past 5 months.
An Israeli airstrike on a paramedic center linked to a Lebanese Sunni Muslim group killed at least 7 people and triggered a rocket attack from Lebanon that killed 1 person in northern Israel.
بعد منتصف ليل 3 قام الاحتلال الإسرائيلي بتدمير وإلقاء عبر الطيران الحربي صاروخ موجه على مركز جهاز الطوارئ والإغاثة في الهبارية، واللي متواجد فيه عناصر تتطوع لخدمة أبناء المنطقة.
The airstrike on the village of Hebariye came after a day of airstrikes and rocket attacks between Israel's military and Lebanon's Hezbollah group along the Lebanon-Israel border. This raised concerns of further escalation along the frontier that has been active for the past 5 months. The airstrike that occurred hit an office of the Islamic Emergency and Relief Corps. The strike was one of the deadliest single attacks since violence erupted along the Lebanon-Israel border more than 5 months ago.
لا بطبيعة الحال بالعكس منطقة هذه تعتبر منطقة آمنة وأبناء المنطقة العرقوب نزحوا عليها، وإذا كان يصير في قصف كان يصير في على الأطراف، وهي بلدة أطرافها واسعة، ولكن داخل البلدة ما صار هيدا أول استهداف بيصير مباشر لأبناء، وللأسف يعني صار استهداف على جهاز طبي.
Rescue services in Israel said that 1 person was killed and 2 others lightly injured in the Hezbollah rocket attack. Around 30 rockets were launched from Lebanon towards northern Israel, according to the Israeli military. There has been nearly daily violence, mostly confined to the area along the Lebanon-Israel border, and international mediators are scrambling to prevent an all-out war between Hezbollah and Israel. Agency report, Republic TV.
And here's a look at top stories in brief from across the globe. At least 4 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli airstrike that hit Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah overnight. The blast flattened a residential building in Rafah, while residents say more than 10 people still remain trapped under the rubble. Multiple airstrikes and rocket attacks between Israel's military and Lebanon's Hezbollah group along the Lebanon-Israel border has raised concerns of an escalation of the war in the Middle East. At least 8 people have been killed in the open fire exchange. The World Food Programme has warned that conditions in Gaza City are desperate, with many facing imminent famine as well. Officials say that parents were going without food for days so that their children can have what little is available, as about 70% of the population face catastrophic hunger. The vice president of the Palestinian Fatah movement said that the next 48 hours will show if Israel will observe a UNSC resolution calling for a Gaza ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu blasted the resolution over its non-inclusion of clause related to the release of Israeli hostages. In a landmark decision, legislators in Thailand, lower house of the parliament passed a bill on marriage equality, potentially marking its inaugural Southeast Asian nation to legalize equal marriage rights for partners of any gender. Russia has blamed Ukraine and the West for its involvement in the terror attack. Moscow has condemned Ukraine's denial of planning the attack and West for its alleged limited action on Islamic terror groups. Meanwhile, Maryland governor has highlighted the importance of collapse of Francis Scott Key Bridge to the U.S. economy, saying that the port is responsible for over 51 million tons of foreign cargo that help regional businesses in their sales significantly. China has condemned the suicidal bombing attack in Pakistan, which has claimed 5 Chinese nationals' lives. This comes after a suicide bomber in northwest Pakistan rammed his explosive-laden car into a vehicle that killed Chinese passengers and a park driver. Thousands of Myanmar military personnel held their annual parade against a background of battlefield defeats. The military has seized power in Myanmar in February 2021, overthrowing the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi, whom it accused without providing evidence of winning the 2020 election through massive voter fraud. Meanwhile, Queen Kamala has received gifts from people gathering to meet her and cards wishing good health to the British monarch King Charles III and the Princess of Wales Kate Middleton, both of whom have recently announced that they have been undergoing treatment for cancer. In fact, the latest that's coming in on the Baltimore bridge collapse, where the governor says that a probe has been ordered. While 6 people have lost their lives, the bridge collapse has not only resulted in loss of life, but a massive economic downturn for the US as well.
A day after the shocking crash that led to the collapse of Baltimore's key bridge in the US, search and rescue operations continued. The incident occurred after a container ship lost power and steering control that led to the fateful accident which claimed the lives of at least 6 people. Governor Westmore has assured the people of Maryland that a thorough investigation will be carried out into the incident.
So the latest is that the investigation now is involving everybody, from federal authorities to state authorities, really trying to uncover both what happened, what led up to this, but then also everything about the aftermath, about the response. And so this is going to be a thorough investigation. It's going to be a long one, but we have to make sure that we get the answers that we're seeking.
Governor Moore also emphasized the large-scale economic implications of the bridge's collapse, one that will have an impact on the entire American economy.
It's a huge economic impact for the country. And that's why I think when we've seen how the entire country has rallied around Maryland and rallied around Baltimore, it's because they understand that the Port of Baltimore is not just impacting Maryland. If you look at this, this port is responsible for over 51 million tons of foreign cargo. That's the largest in the country. That for everybody who is buying cars, for everybody who is buying farm equipment, we're the largest port in the country that does that. So this is not just impacting Maryland. This is impacting that farmer in Kentucky. It's impacting that auto dealer in Michigan. And so it is imperative that we get this bridge rebuilt. It's imperative that we get the Port of Baltimore back up and going. And it's not just about how are we supporting Maryland. This is about how we're supporting the American economy.
On behalf of the people of Maryland, the governor went on to thank governors across the US for the amount of outreach and support he received.
I've been overwhelmed by the amount of outreach that we've received from governors from around the country, both Democrat and Republican, from the amount of outreach that we received from philanthropists, from people who are just asking how can they help. And so Maryland, we really appreciate the love that's been coming from around the country and the support. And I tell them the people who need it most are these families.
Meanwhile, the federal government in the United States has also assured all possible support in the reconstruction effort of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Agency report, Republic TV.
And on that note, we are heading in a very short break. Coming up on the other side, the latest on Israel-Hamas war. Israeli airstrikes in Rafah leave 4 Palestinians dead, escalating destruction in Gaza. And Thailand poised to legalize same-sex marriage after Parliament passes bill.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education, whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
इंडी एलायंस वाले लोग बार बार जानबूझकर हिंदू धर्म का अपमान करते हैं। इनका हर बयान बहुत सोचा समझा हुआ होता है।
Days after Prime Minister Modi dialed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba is all set to make his first visit to India. This is the first time the Ukrainian Foreign Minister will visit India since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Standing here in Kiev, in front of Mahatma Gandhi's monument, I'm pleased to announce that this week I will pay my first ever visit to India. A few days ago, President Zelensky spoke with Prime Minister Modi. My visit will further strengthen our relations. Ukraine and India are two big democracies. I'm certain we are set to be good partners and friends.
The visit of the Ukrainian Foreign Minister comes after President Zelensky extended an invitation to Prime Minister Modi to visit to Ukraine later this year. The Ukrainian Foreign Minister is expected to hold high-level dialogues with External Affairs Minister
Now, the Israel-Hamas war will enter its 6th month in 2 weeks' time. In latest attempt to neutralize Hamas, the Israeli military fired multiple airstrikes at the Rafah city, which has killed at least 4 people while injuring several others. Now, as civilians continue to suffer and as they are caught in crossfire, ceasefire negotiations still remained stalled between Israel and Hamas terror group.
Destruction escalated in Gaza after an Israeli airstrike targeted the southern city of Rafah. At least 4 Palestinians have lost their lives. With a full-fledged residential building almost flattened, over 10 individuals were trapped in rubble for hours. The devastation is palpable as local residents and emergency responders scramble to find survivors amidst the wreckage.
في البيت هيك ما سمعنا غير صوت انفجار شديد هز المنطقة يعني. فتوجهنا للمكان هذا. لقينا الأشلاء موجودة على الأرض. ناس معلقة زي ما انتم شايفين هي آثار الدماء معلقين كاينين نازلين من السقف. ناس مرمية على الأرض. ناس جبناهم من عند دور جيراننا من غاد. يعني حوالي 15 إصابة.
The latest incident adds to the mounting casualties as Israeli forces continue their bombardment of Gaza. Since the beginning of the conflict, at least 31,000 Palestinians have lost their lives in the war, according to official figures. In response, Israel has only intensified its military operations, threatening potential ground assault, particularly in areas such as Rafah. With calls for a ceasefire deal within the international community, Israel is yet to dial down on its offensive. The war remains a long road away from resolution. Agency Report, Republic TV.
And here's a look at top stories in brief from across the globe and the country. Sunrisers Hyderabad secured a glorious win against Mumbai Indians, setting a target of 277 in 20 overs, opting to bat first. Travis Head made 62 runs in 24 balls, while Abhishek Sharma contributed a blistering 63 off just 23 deliveries. Cricket Australia expressed an interest in hosting Australia, has expressed an interest in hosting an India-Pak Test series if both countries agreed to play against each other at a neutral venue. India and Pakistan have not played a bilateral series since 2012. Double Olympic medalist PV Sindhu has progressed to the second round of Madrid, Spain Masters with a straight game win over Canada. Sindhu saw world number 49 Zhang in lopsided contest. Indian footballer Vijay Chetri has completed his move to Colin Football Club in Uruguay. It remains a loan until the end of the year, with the club retaining the option to make the contract permanent. Indian tennis stalwart Rohan Bopanna and his Australian teammate Matthew Ebden have advanced to their men's doubles semi-finals this year at the Miami Open. FIFA's regional director Africa Gelson Fernandez has called the FIFA series a great step in casting new opportunities for African countries to face opponents from other continents and developing the game internationally. Arium, a former member of the K-pop group, was reportedly hospitalized after attempting suicide. This comes shortly after the singer came forward to discuss the abuse and she and her along with the children endured at the hands of her ex-husband. Queen Camilla was joined by authors and book enthusiasts to mark new research into the effects of reading. The research commissioned by the Queen's Reading Room studied the link between reading fiction and well-being. An individual in New Jersey won 1.13 billion millions in jackpot, breaking a winless streak that dated to last December. Hollywood actor Ariana DeBose is set to host the Tony Awards 2024 for a third consecutive time. The Academy Award winner and Tony Award nominee, who hosted both the 2023 and the 2022 ceremonies, will be back this year for the show on 16th of June and will produce and choreograph the opening number as well. Now, in news from Thailand, where in a historic decision, legislators in the country's lower house of parliament have passed a bill on marriage equality, potentially making it the first Southeast Asian nation to legalize equal marriage rights for partners of any gender.
The Thailand parliament passed a landmark bill on marriage equality. This has made them the first Southeast Asian nation to legalize equal marriage rights for partners of any gender. The bill passed its final reading with the approval of 400 of the 415 members of the House Representatives who were in attendance.
400 ท่านนะครับบวกอีก1เมื่อสักครู่นะครับเห็นด้วย400นะครับไม่เห็นด้วย10 งดออกเสียง2ไม่ลงคะแนนเสียง3นะครับ
The bill now goes to the Senate, which rarely rejects any legislation passed by the lower house, and then to the King for royal endorsement. Lawmakers, however, did not approve inclusion of the word parent in addition to father and mother in the law. Activists said that it would limit the rights of some LGBTQ+ couples to form a family and raise children. Thailand has a reputation for acceptance and inclusivity but has struggled for decades to pass a marriage equality law. The new government, led by the Pheu Thai party, which took office last year, has made marriage equality one of its main goals. Agency report, Republic TV.
And with that, we are heading into a very short break. Coming up on Live and Breaking All, that's making news from across the country, also tracking closely all developments in Liquorgate, as CBI to seek custody next of Arvind Kejriwal. Also, the latest on Liquorgate probe, the wife of Arvind Kejriwal now claims that Kejriwal will make a big expose on liquor scam today.
इंडी अलायंस वाले लोग बार बार जानबूझकर हिंदू धर्म का अपमान करते हैं। इनका हर बयान बहुत सोचा समझा हुआ होता है। जब मैं जम्मू और कश्मीरी बोलता हूं तो पीओ को इसके अंदर ही आता है। एक सेकंड भाई, सुनो तो, सुनिए तो, आप मुझे बोलने नहीं देंगे। आप मैं स्पष्ट करता हूं, माननीय मंत्री जी प्लीज। मैं जब जम्मू एंड कश्मीर बोलता हूं, माननीय सदस्य, इसलिए एग्रेसिव हूं कि जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के पीए को आप भारत का हिस्सा नहीं मानते हो क्या? एग्रेसिव ना हो, जान दे देंगे इसके लिए। क्या बात कर रहे हो आप? एग्रेसिव होने की क्या बात कर रहे हो? जान दे देंगे इसके लिए।
5 years after, the Union Home Minister announced the abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. The centre is now likely to take yet another major decision for Jammu and Kashmir. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, in an interview to a publication in JNK, said that the central government will consider revoking the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in the valley. Amit Shah also said that the government has plans to pull back troops from the Union territory and leave law and order to the Jammu and Kashmir police alone.
1947 के बाद
Hello and welcome. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Ginny Narula. Let's first take a look at our top headlines at this hour. Delhi court to take up excise policy case today as Kejriwal's 6-day ED remand ends today. CBI likely to seek custody of Kejriwal next. As ED expands probe Wife Sunita Kejriwal claims Delhi Chief Minister to make big expose on ED's probe in excise policy case today. Day after MEA summons US envoy, US lectures India again, says closely following developments in the case. Days to go for the Lok Sabha polls. Congress still undecided over Amethi and Raebareli seats. With battle lines drawn for the 2024 polls, nominations for the second phase of Lok Sabha elections to begin starting today. ED summons TMC Mahua Moitra and Darshan Hiranandani in Foreign Exchange Management Act contravention case today. Now, viewers, Republic obtains footage revealing India Alliance's efforts to unite NC-PDP in Jammu and Kashmir, coinciding with Mehbooba's iftar gathering in Jammu. Now, Congress's desperation to keep the India Alliance stable is now out in the open. Republic has obtained footage of Congress trying to unite NC-PDP in Jammu and Kashmir, coinciding with Mehbooba's iftar gathering in Jammu. Congress intervenes to broker talks between NC and PDP leadership during the event. This comes after a clear split in India Alliance when National Conference said that it won't give any seat to PDP in Kashmir. My colleague Gursimran is joining us from Jammu. A very good morning to you, Gursimran. Now, big breaking news there from Jammu and Kashmir, of course. Congress's desperation to keep the India Alliance together. Take us through the details.
Yes, it is the negotiations by the senior leadership of the Congress party that both the parties have come together once again. This was on the occasion that a iftar party was called by Mehbooba Mufti, and the negotiations that the Congress is doing in the last 1 week has seems that it is getting some fruits now, that the NC leadership on the directions of their top leadership on the directions of the Abdullahs, they came in the gathering of the iftar party of the Mehbooba Mufti. It was the Ravinder Sharma, the Vice President of the Congress, who was seen negotiating with both the sides. Even in the yesterday's meeting, he was the one seems to be the parallel bridge between the NC Provincial President Ratanlal Gupta and also the senior leaders, including the Zishan Rana and Sheikh Bashir, those who were part of the NC that were in the iftar party of Mehbooba. And also there were some videos and the photos that we have accessed from this iftar party where they can be seen sharing the stage. And also we are getting to know that in the days to come there will be several meetings of the NC and the PDP. This comes after the backdrop that the National Conference said that they won't be giving any seat to the People's Democratic Party, thus coming out a major threat to the India Alliance in Jammu and Kashmir. But now the Congress seems to have played a role so that they can manage a single seat for the People's Democratic Party so that the situation can be curtailed in the Jammu. Otherwise, there will be what was expected, that if NC goes on all 3 seats in the Kashmir Valley, PDP will also go on all the 3 seats in the Kashmir Valley. That will make it really very difficult for the alliance to perform when it comes to the Lok Sabha polls. But now Congress seems to be in the negotiators mode, and now they have managed to get both the parties, at least during the iftar party of the Mehbooba Mufti that was held last evening in Jammu.
Right, Gursimran, do we know of any seat-sharing alliance? You said 3 seats are there. So what is going to be the division between the parties about the seats?
See, if we go by the numbers that have officially come last time, that was the NC is going to contest on all 3 seats, PDP yet to decide. But now the things have changed. Now the party leaders are saying that we are going NC leader when it comes to. They're saying that we will go by the party stand. PDP is also mum on the negotiations. They will say that we will speak very soon. There have been hints that everything will be decided post-Eid. That is on the 11th or 12th of April. Post that the things will be cleared. Because in Kashmir Valley, the 3 seats that the National Conference and NC are now fighting for. These three seats are in the third phase of the election that will take place on the first week of the May. So they have enough time to when it comes to the negotiations on the seats, if there is renegotiation that takes place, because senior leadership of Congress, that is what we are getting to know, is playing a key role in these negotiations so as to keep this flock united of the NC, PDP and the Congress in Jammu and Kashmir.
Right, thank you, Gursimran, for getting us those latest details. Of course, Congress trying hard to keep the alliance together in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, moving on to other news just coming in. Congress leader and former Uttarakhand Cabinet Minister Harak Singh Rawat has been issued fresh summons by the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in a money laundering case investigation on April 2nd. Now, trouble has mounted for Uttarakhand Congress leader. Congress leader and former Uttarakhand Cabinet Minister Harak Singh Rawat has been issued fresh summons. ED has issued fresh summons to Uttarakhand Congress leader Harak Singh Rawat. Now, this is, of course, for questioning in the money laundering case investigation. The central agency, remember viewers, had asked Rawat to depose before it on April 2nd. The ED had issued summons to Harak Singh Rawat in the case of illegal corruption, illegal occupation of Forest Department land and illegal cutting of trees in Corbett National Park. Rawat is also former Forest Minister of the state who quit the BJP ahead of the 2022 Uttarakhand Assembly polls and joined the Congress. The latest that has just come in is that Congress leader and former Uttarakhand Cabinet Minister Harak Singh Rawat has been issued fresh summons by the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in a money laundering case investigation. Another news just coming in. The Enforcement Directorate has intensified its investigation into the Liquor Gate scandal in Goa, summoning two political leaders along with the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party. Allegedly, a kickback of rupees 45 crores was utilized in the Goa polls, according to ED findings. Now, ED has issued summons to AAP Goa President Palikar in connection with Delhi liquor policy case. The agency has claimed that in its charge sheet that the AAP used proceeds of the crime to the tune of about 45 crore rupees in Goa poll campaign from the 100 crore bribe that was given by the Souths Group that involved BRS leader K. Kavita. The Enforcement Directorate has intensified its investigation into the Liquor Gate scandal in Goa, summoning two political leaders along with the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party. The agency claimed in its charge sheet that AAP used the proceeds of the crime to the tune of about 45 crore in Goa poll campaign from the 100 crore bribe that was given by the Souths Group that involved BRS leader K. Kavita. Now, Congress leader and former Uttarakhand Cabinet Minister Harak Singh Rawat, the Enforcement Directorate has intensified its investigation into the Liquor Gate scam in Goa, summoning two political leaders along with the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, Kejriwal faces mounting troubles as sources indicate that the Central Bureau of Investigation intends to seek his custody following actions by the Enforcement Directorate. ED is set to produce Kejriwal in court today. Now, remember, viewers, Kejriwal's wife, Sunita Kejriwal, had yesterday given a statement that Arvind Kejriwal would present details of the so-called liquor scam today in court. The Rouse Avenue court had remanded Kejriwal to 6 days of ED custody in the money laundering case. His custody is ending today. Now, the big question is, will CBI get his custody? The Delhi High Court yesterday, let's tell you viewers, had refused to interfere in his arrest by the Enforcement Directorate on liquor policy scam case. Now today, Kejriwal is set to be produced in court. It remains to be seen what decision will be taken regarding his custody. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's 6-day custody has ended today, and the Rouse Avenue court is to hear the matter. His wife Sunita Kejriwal had yesterday given a statement that Kejriwal will present details of the so-called Delhi excise, the Delhi liquor policy scam in court today. She said that her husband will reveal the truth. Now, Kejriwal faces mounting troubles as sources indicate that the Central Bureau of Investigation is intending to seek his custody following actions by the Enforcement Directorate. The Enforcement Directorate is set to produce Kejriwal in court today. Kejriwal received kickbacks, and ED says Kejriwal is kingpin in Liquorgate. The ED's allegations against Kejriwal are very serious. It says that he received kickbacks from South Lobby. And the third charge against him is that he used proceeds of the crime for Goa poll campaign. And the 100 crores given to AAP was by K. Kavita. The South Lobby has controlled liquor business in Delhi. There are very serious charges against Kejriwal and the South Lobby, which includes K. Kavita. Now, 45 crores were transferred to Goa through Hawala. This is the claim that the ED is making, that 45 crores were transferred through Hawala. AAP received cash from kickbacks. And the AAP used the proceeds of the crime to the tune of about 45 crores in Goa poll campaign from the 100 crore bribe that was given by the South group that involved the BRS leader. Now, CBI is to seek custody after Enforcement Directorate. The ED to produce Kejriwal in court today. We are trying to connect to our reporters to get you the latest details. Now, trouble is mounting for Kejriwal. Sources are indicating that CBI, the Central Bureau of Investigation, is intending to seek his custody following actions by the Enforcement Directorate. Viewers, that on your screen is the Aam Aadmi Party and the lobby link. The graphics indicate the links between the two. Yet another breaking news coming in, that the PIL seeking the removal of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal from holding the post of Chief Minister of Government of NCT. Today, Notably, the bench of Justice Manmohan and Justice Manmeet Pritham Singh Arora is scheduled to hear the matter today. Now, viewers, the PIL seeks the removal of Arvind Kejriwal. The plea was filed by Surjit Singh Yadav, which states that the continuance of Arvind Kejriwal has degraded the credibility and image of the government of the NCT of Delhi. Amid the controversy surrounding the resignation of AAP National Convener Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi High Court will hear a public interest litigation today. My colleague Abhijit is joining us live from Delhi. A very good morning to you, Abhijit. Now, PIL seeking the removal of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal from holding the post of Chief Minister of the government of NCT is going to be heard in the High Court. Take us through the details. Seems like we have lost the line with Abhijit. We'll try and reconnect with him. Meanwhile, viewers just joining in. A PIL seeking the removal of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal from holding the post of Chief Minister of Government of NCT is going to be heard by the bench of Justice Manmohan and Justice Manmeet Pritham Singh Arora. The matter is scheduled to hear in the High Court today. Now, this PIL was filed by Surjit Singh. The plea was filed by Surjit Singh Yadav, and it states that the continuance of Arvind Kejriwal has degraded the credibility and image of the government. The PIL seeks removal of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal from holding the post of Chief Minister of the government of NCT. Notably, the bench of Justice Manmohan and Justice Manmeet Pritham Singh Arora is scheduled to hear the matter today. Now remember, viewers, Arvind Kejriwal was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate on March 21st in the money laundering case related to the alleged liquor policy scam. The police stated that after the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal, Minister of Government of NCT of Delhi Atishi gave interviews to various channels on March 21st, stating and affirming that Arvind Kejriwal will not resign from his post. My colleague Piyush is joining us on the phone line. A very good morning to you, Piyush. Now, there is a PIL filed against Arvind Kejriwal, and we know that this PIL is demanding the resignation of Arvind Kejriwal, and the hearing is going to happen today. Take us through the details.
So yes, good morning, Jenny, and good morning to all our viewers who are viewing us and listening us to us at the moment. And you rightly mentioned that today there is going to be a public interest litigation that is going to be heard at Delhi High Court, in which it has been mentioned that since the Delhi Chief Minister is in the custody of Enforcement Directorate, it is not incumbent upon him, it is not ethical upon him, and it is also legally not tenable for him to continue as the Chief Minister. So today there is going to be an important hearing in the Delhi High Court, where his being at the post of the Chief Minister is going to be challenged. Also, it is very important to note that today, when the custody of Arvind Kejriwal is going to end of the Enforcement Directorate, subsequently at Rouse Avenue Court, which is just a few kilometers away from the Delhi High Court, there is also going to be an important hearing that whether the custody of Arvind Kejriwal be extended or not. So yes, equally significant day for the Delhi Chief Minister, where two of the petitions are going to be heard. It's going to be interesting to see that will these two petitions bring in good luck to him, or is it only going to increase his bad luck? Back to the studio.
Right, Piyush, of course, it's a very important day with the two hearings happening at the same time. And the big question is whether CBI will get Arvind Kejriwal's custody. Piyush.
So you raised a very important question, Ginny. There is a possibility, as what we have been hearing, at least from the sources, that if Enforcement Directorate is over with the questioning with the Delhi Chief Minister, there is a possibility that another central agency, that is the CBI, might want to take the custody of Arvind Kejriwal and want to get important questions from him. It is very important to note that it is the CBI first which had registered the case in the Alice Acre Gate scam, and they had first conducted the raid on August 19, 2022 at the official residence of Manish Sisodia, following which the Enforcement Directorate also stepped in. So yes, possibility that the central agency CBI may also step in, but when will it be announced officially? Only time will tell. Back to the studio.
Right, Piyush, thank you very much. We'll go across to Abhijit, my colleague Abhijit, who's standing outside the court. Abhijit, a very good morning to you now. Very important day. A PIL is going to be heard in the High Court. This is regarding the resignation of Arvind Kejriwal. Take us through the details that you have gathered.
Well, the Delhi High Court will be hearing this PIL that has been submitted by a Delhi resident who has challenged that since his arrest, Arvind Kejriwal has been passing directions to his ministers, and the PIL will be heard by a Delhi bench today and will seek into the legalities involved in Delhi CM Kejriwal operating while being in the remand of ED since March 21, the day when he was arrested. There has been a strong reactions coming in from the BJP and its senior leaders who have actually challenged Delhi CM's continuing as the Delhi CM while in the remand, and it's being challenged continuously. There has been remarks from Manoj Tiwari, the MP, who has said that gangs do operate from jail, but not the government can operate from the jail. So it will be interesting what the High Court will pick up today from the PIL, and will it actually direct the union government to stop Arvind Kejriwal operating his government from ED's remand. Back to studio.
Right. Thank you, Abhijit, for getting us those details. Of course, a very important day with two hearings going to be heard today. One regarding Arvind Kejriwal's ED custody, whether the CBI will get his custody, and the other, the PIL, on Arvind Kejriwal's resignation. Now, moving on to other news. As the high-tension political drama continued in Delhi over Arvind Kejriwal's arrest in the Liquor Gate, Kejriwal's bail application reached the High Court, Delhi High Court, where he found no relief, with the court asking ED to file a reply in 3 days. Now, this comes after AAP registering its protest both inside and outside the Delhi Assembly, and the BJP continuing to demand Kejriwal's resignation. Here is all that happened in the court.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will have to spend at least a night in the ED lockup. The Delhi High Court has refused his petition challenging the Enforcement Directorate's arrest in the Delhi liquor policy case. The court has asked the ED to respond to Kejriwal's petition by April 2nd. Senior advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi, appearing for the AAP chief, argued that object of arrest was to create a non-level playing field ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. He alleged ED has cited non-cooperation after it could not compel Kejriwal to give disclosure of confession against himself.
Central Bureau of Investigation in all likelihood would also step in and seek custody of Arvind Kejriwal after Enforcement Directorate completes their investigation. But the crucial question that many are also asking is, just multiple witness statements against Arvind Kejriwal good enough for the Enforcement Directorate to keep Arvind Kejriwal in custody, or does the agency have much more than witnesses?
The Delhi Chief Minister's wife Sunita Kejriwal has hit out at the centre and the central agency.
अभी तक किसी भी रेड में एक पैसा नहीं मिला। मनीष जी के यहाँ रेड मारी, संजय सिंह जी के यहाँ रेड मारी, सत्येंद्र जैन जी के यहाँ रेड मारी, एक भी पैसा नहीं मिला। हमारे यहाँ रेड मारी, मात्र 73,000 रुपये मिले। तो वो इस सो कॉल्ड शराब घोटाले का पैसा है कहाँ?
The Aam Aadmi Party protested against Kejriwal's arrest in Delhi Assembly wearing "Main Bhi Kejriwal" t-shirts.
लेकिन आज जो पीएमएलए का कानून है उसे ना काउंटर टेररिज्म में यूज़ किया जाता है, ना ड्रग ट्रैफिकिंग रोकने के लिए यूज़ किया जाता है, उसको सिर्फ और सिर्फ विपक्ष के नेताओं को जेल में भेजने के लिए यूज़ किया जाता है। अगर आप पीएमएलए के कानून को देखें तो उसमें बेल मिलना लगभग असंभव है।
As legal trouble mounts, can Kejriwal continue to remain as Delhi Chief Minister?
Time to slip in a very short break. Coming up after the break, days to go for the Lok Sabha polls. Congress still undecided over Amethi and Raebareli seats. ED summons TMC's Mahua Moitra and Darshan Hiranandani in Foreign Exchange Management Act contravention case today.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Things have got really complicated today for Arvind Kejriwal. He put together all the lawyers, he put together some of the most formidable lawyers in India to fight his case. And these criminal lawyers, the topmost in the country, gave everything they had to defend him. Everything they had to question his arrest. They put forth all their arguments, but they still lost in court. They questioned the use of approvers, they questioned the timing of the arrest, they questioned the intent of the agency, but they still lost in the court. Loss after loss after loss after loss in court for Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party. Now viewers, if there is no scam in Liquorgate, why do the biggest lawyers of the country lose in court when they stand up to fight for the Aam Aadmi Party? Are the courts biased too? Or is it the reality that there is too much evidence that the agencies have shown and the agencies have shared with the courts, with the judges, which makes even giving bail impossible for the court? Consider this, they are not even getting bail. Manish Sisodia, Satyendra Jain, Sanjay Singh, Arvind Kejriwal.
Delhi court to take up excise policy case today as Kejriwal 6-day ED remand ends today. CBI likely to seek custody of Kejriwal next. As ED expands probe, wife Sunita Kejriwal claims Delhi Chief Minister to make big expose on ED's probe in excise policy case today. Day after MEA summons US envoy, US lectures India again, says closely following developments in the case. Days to go for the Lok Sabha polls. Congress still undecided over Amethi and Raebareli seats. With battle lines drawn for the 2024 polls, nominations for the second phase of Lok Sabha elections to begin starting today. ED summons TMC's Mahua Moitra and Darshan Hiranandani in Foreign Exchange Management Act contravention case today. Yet another news update coming in. Massive Congress rift exposed. Former